Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine national issues. LGBT. Many Bahamians would have heard those initials or those letters of the alphabet before. And today on our program, we are talking about lesbians, gays, transgender, and other people such. And there was a activity in Grand Bahama this past weekend. It was organized by VIX Entertainment, and Pastor Miles Monroe issued a letter condemning that particular event, and it caused a whole lot of people in the country to join in a conversation on the rights of gays and lesbians in our country. Indeed, since the government of the Bahamas tabled bills in the parliament for a referendum to bring about equality for the sexes in the country, we have heard about same-sex marriage, among other things. Well, on our program today, we are going to talk about these issues, and our guest on the program is someone who I have had on radio, Mr. Victor Rollins, who was the organizer of the event in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Victor Rollins, welcome to the program.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here.
You know, you've been on radio with me a couple of times, and you said that you were ready for television. And so here you are. And I ask you some of the questions that I asked on the Issues of the Day program on radio. Why did you organize the event in Grand Bahama?
It's multifold, but mainly I'm a founder of an organization called SASH Bahamas, Society Against STIs and HIV. Within the National AIDS Program, which is the overall program for the Bahamas, there are various NGOs, civil society that works with the National AIDS Program or make up the National AIDS Program. And different groups deal with different aspects. And there's a part within the overall HIV fight called vulnerable groups. You have sex work, commercial sex workers, you have risk teens, you have persons living with and affected by HIV, and you have MSMs, LGBT. I work with the LBGT MSM community on educating them about prevention, care, treatment, and support if they are turned out to be infected, but mainly how to prevent and deal with condom distribution and other things, materials, with the cooperation of the HIV/AIDS Center and Ministry of Health.
So you are facing a reality in the country, and that reality is that the LGBT community is growing.
Very.
And you are catering to that community.
Yes.
You said it's growing by leaps and bounds.
Well, okay. There's with the advent of internet and now access to the World Wide Web, a lot of persons, are joining the LGBT, but not. You'll find the different aspects of it. Some think it's a new black, especially amongst the young persons, anyone between the age of 14 to about 25. That's, once they get involved in pornography or even trying to explore their sexuality, sometimes they jump on that because it's to them less problems. They ain't got to concern themselves with teen pregnancy and all these other things based on various acts they may do. The other part is that sex is exciting.
And sex sells.
And sex sells. I wanted to say that.
Yes. You talk about young people exploring their sexuality and experimenting too.
Yes.
This is growing among high school students, I am told.
Seriously, serious stuff. And the thing is, sometimes, well, like I said, I'm more focused with the MSM and LBGT community, but generally we do condom education and all that stuff in a general sense, go into companies, schools, and different, well, I wouldn't say schools, but particular groups, because amongst females, some females, they go through having anal sex to keep their hymen protected in case their parents want to deal with examination. So anal sex is not exclusive to the gay man or the bisexual man or the down low or the trade, but you have heterosexual females, young, who go that route because, you know, they don't want to get pregnant or they don't want to break the hymen.
What you are also saying today is that deviant behavior is on the increase, on the rise in the Bahamas. It's the venality of our country is getting worse.
I think people are becoming more free to do what they want to do again, because before we were a closed society and whatever the church said, that was gospel. No longer do you have to just listen to the church and the preacher. You could go online, you could Google anything. Things are coming through the telephone. These days, the kids on the telephone, they could be walking around with a headphone on around you watching porn or sitting on a bus watching porn because, you know, they got data. So it's beyond not just that the country itself is going astray. Technology is being abused in some cases.
Technology being abused and bringing a higher level of deviant behavior in among the youth of the country. Yes. And so you would say then that the internet and social media,
right.
these things are contributing to this high level of venality and deviant behavior.
And that's when sometimes when I try to get message out to the church community that they need to sit down with our organization and have a conversation, because no longer you can come and say, well, older guys are seducing young boys or young girls. They're not waiting for that. Frankly, nowadays it's the reverse. After they done gone online, learned some things and a whole lot, they start searching out in the area of what you call transactional sex. I need a new shoes, I need a ticket for the next party, I want to go away, and a whole lot. So I find that in some cases, or in many cases within that area, the church is, I know people don't like the word, is ignorant to what really is going on in sexuality today.
You call it transactional sex, but people are just selling their bodies. It's as simple as that.
I guess it's politically correct, and in the system there's transactional and then there's sex work. Sex work is you want to have sex and it can cost you $100. Transactional sex is I want you to think that I like you. We cool, we have sex, and then an hour or two later or a couple of days later I call you, I need a favor. You can't lend me, you can't send me some minutes, you can't buy me some food. That's why they call it transactional over sex work, because it's more of a delayed payment, and the individuals assume that this person likes them and they have some kind of relationship going on.
You are pretty much an expert in this area, in dealing with LGBT. And I'm told that you've been dealing with various organizations in the U.S. as well as the Caribbean.
Yes. And throughout, mainly, more so with the Caribbean, because we are part of the various networks. Anytime any kind of consultation is going on in reference to MSM, and I think we need to explain the two differences, because you'll find more so globally the word MSM is used, and there's a fight that the LBGT don't want to be called MSM because they're not MSMs.
And that's MSM is men sexing men.
Yeah. LBGT is the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and they have the I and the Q. Intersex and questioning. Intersex is when they have two parts.
Okay.
And then you have persons who are questioning their sexuality. MSM is a behavior. The LGBTIQ say, this is who I am, and they stand up for who they are. They're the ones we say we know who gay. So you're a person say, but I have gay friends, or I have a lesbian friend. That's the LGBT who tells you. MSM is everybody else who don't want you to know. The man who's married, the guy with the girlfriend, the thug, the gangbanger, all the other guys who are having sex with guys, but down low trades, and they keep that very, very secret.
You are as authoritative on this because you yourself, you're a gay man.
Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been a gay man?
Interesting enough, I struggled until I was about 14 and I gave into life, and then I got involved in religion, Christianity. I went for fire insurance, and through that process I got I believe what I read. I knew what I was feeling, experiencing, but the information gave me a different perspective. And got married, had a family and everything else. And then, you know, a lot of things didn't pan out like it was supposed to be happy ever after. And I would say within the last 5 years or so, I, just decided I'm not going to fight my inner feelings, and I'm not going to try to fool or fake the public by going with some woman to say that what I'm feeling inside is not real. Strange to people based on what I would have experienced in the Word of God and read throughout the Word of God. I would say to folks, God and I are dealing with this issue, and I feel comfortable that I'm fulfilling the call in my life that He asked me to do, in spite of some decisions that I would make. I know a lot of times people say, well, being gay is a choice. I like to normally say it's a choice after the fact. Many gay persons seek and try to get answers to what they're experiencing. And again, in the area of the church, they tend not to deal with that area. They more want to deal with their behavior, their action. So they'll bring in the Genesis 19 story or the Romans 1 story. But that doesn't answer the question to the individual. So sometimes people are in the church still struggling and quietly struggling and, participating, but still dealing with their issues.
You say you struggled, and you struggled for a long time. And there are many people who have struggled. Would you say that the demon in the person won the day, since it was a struggle? You know that biologically you are a male, you're a man, and you had to struggle with your sexuality. So there was something within you that was pushing you towards your attraction of men. And so, was that a force? And for want of a better word, and some people would call it a demonic force that pushed you to have a relationship with a man or to favor men?
That's what they would say, but that's not exactly what happens and what goes on. A man's perception is his reality, be it right or wrong.
Right.
And what he's experiencing on the inside, only him knows. So again, understanding demonic and how it deals with, it doesn't kind of border on there, because most of your inner being, no matter what you try, what you do, it's not just the suggestion in the mind. It's like all of you.
Yeah, but what about the power of the mind?
The attraction.
What about the power of the mind to say, well, no, this is not right.
Right.
This is wrong.
I'm saying, I've dealt with that, the power of the mind of right and not wrong, and saying that. But everything else in me is reacting differently.
Do you look at the rightness and the wrongness of the situation, knowing that Victor Rollins is a male, but he is attracted to another male, and doesn't something, an antenna goes up in your head saying to you that this is wrong and that I ought to decipher between what is right and what is wrong?
The struggle is real, and that always happened. So many persons in their room crying, asking God, take this away from me, and all kind of prayers. But again, back to what as you thinking it, your mind is thinking, but everything else, like I said before, your body and your inner beings, just because it makes you say, like, why am I having attraction for a guy? Why can't I? She's beautiful, she's fine, she's well built. Why don't I feel the same? And so sometimes what you do is you just give in and just, I'm not even trying to think about this no more, because it ain't making sense. The answers are not coming. Nobody really can say what it is. So the conclusion would be, okay, so maybe I'm born this way, because everything you try to do, you cuss, you drink, you smoke, you get with girls, you buy prostitutes. I mean, well, they were my stories. But yet, still, that feel more better within the male company, feel more real and natural amongst the male company. Not that I'm going out there to prey on anyone, or I'm going there because I'm intimidated to even talk to anybody.
Yeah. So you are wired to feel and think a particular way you think.
That's how I felt.
Yes. And is it could it be that your testosterone level is lower than your estrogen?
Could be.
That you have more estrogen in you than
But
testosterone?
could be, but I never went and, have that test. Maybe I should try that test there so I could have a scientific fact to it, Sometimes I just don't understand it, and over and over again when I would have personal time with the Lord and stuff, it's like, why can't I get clear answer? And like you say, based on the Bible and biblical teaching, that's what it says. So now I have the question, do I want to be a kingdom citizen and live according to the Bible? Because as I get to counsel other young men who are having issues or trying to find out, I said, now listen, when you decide to become a Christian, this is the rules. So at the end of the day, you can't get mad. Like you asked me yesterday, well, isn't it the church job to speak out? That's their job. That's what they do. I accept that.
Okay.
All right?
We're going to talk about that. Let's examine that and the role of the church and your spirituality. Let's take this break on the program. Victor Rollins, our guest on the program today, and we are talking about all of the issues in the LGBT community. We'll come right back.